What's up, Browns fans? Nathan Zegura here with another Browns position preview brought to you by Medical Mutual. And today we're going to look at the linebackers. And this is the group that I think if you looked at all the position groups, you'd say this is the one that we have the least amount of certainty in. After all, when you have the departures of a Pro Bowler like Joe Schobert and a veteran like Christian Kirksey, there is going to be a void. But where some may see a void, I see opportunity for a young, talented linebacking core to come in and thrive in Joe Woods' defense. Now let's start with the new additions in this linebacking room. When you have an exodus, you need some people coming in, and we'll start with B.J. Goodson, a 4-year veteran, a former 4th-round pick out of Clemson. Goodson has started 22 games the last 2 seasons for Green Bay and the Giants. He's got experience at both the Mike and the Will linebacker positions, and his 29 career starts are more than everybody else in the Browns linebacker room combined. Now, of course, you have to have some youth in there, and we do. Jacob Phillips, the 3rd-round pick in this year's draft out of LSU, the other new addition to that linebacking room. He led the SEC in tackles and was middle linebacker for the national champions. Not to mention, he's got familiarity with Grant Delpit, who he drafted at safety in the 2nd round, and Greedy Williams, who he drafted in last year's draft in the 2nd round. The 3 played together for the Tigers. Now, we talk about projected starters. I think it's going to be B.J. Goodson and Mack Wilson. Wilson, of course, last year's 5th-round pick. He started 14 games for the Browns at that will position. He progressed greatly as the season went on. A guy who was a Mike linebacker for Alabama and Nick Saban before coming into the NFL. He had a lot of experience last year, and I think he looks to build on that. The Browns are counting on Mack Wilson maybe to make that transition to Mike linebacker and hold the starting job down there. In addition, you have Sione Takitaki, a 3rd-round pick in 2019. He had 1 start last year, only about 100 snaps out there on the field at linebacker. Looking for him to take a step forward in his 2nd year. Probably projects as the starting Sam linebacker, does his best work close to the ball, but his ability to play in coverage and play in space will dictate how much he's able to play in his 2nd season. Now, your top backups, that's going to be, of course, Jacob Phillips, who I mentioned earlier. And again, his adjustment to coverage in the NFL, that'll be the key. If he handles that, it's going to be tough to keep him off the field. There's also Tay Davis, who came to the Browns last year from the Giants. Predominantly a special teams player, though. Didn't see any snaps on defense, 6 special teams tackles, and a core special team performer. Now let's talk about some of the young guys looking and hoping to be able to make an impact. A few names to know. Willie Harvey, an undrafted free agent who was on the active roster last year before a season-ending injury. Montrell Meander, a converted safety. Jermaine Grace, a 4-year veteran who spent time with the Falcons, the Colts, and the Browns. Those are the guys that you want to look for to see if they can maybe scratch and claw their way onto this roster. As far as camp battles to watch, I think, again, this position is wide open. We think the starters will be Goodson and Wilson and Takitaki, but Jacob Phillips could crack that rotation. It's going to be how they perform in training camp that dictates a lot of this. And now finally, for the stat that you need to know. I mentioned earlier, Phillips, he led the SEC with 113 tackles, only 3 missed tackles. That is pretty darn impressive. So a lot of talent, a lot of opportunity, and it's going to be exciting to see who steps up in this linebacker room. For the latest on your Browns, keep it tuned to cleanbrowns.com and the Browns mobile app. This has been another Medical Mutual Browns position preview.